Well, let's just start off with what is bioresonance, because this is not a topic that most people know about.
That is very true. It's funny because I come originally from Poland. This is where I live at the moment as well. And I've been aware of this technology pretty much ever since I was a kid. So that was back in the 70s. And here in Poland, we've got a lot of influences from the Eastern Bloc, sort of further east than we are. And a lot of that science actually and understanding comes from there. So when we're talking about bioresonance therapy, people will be aware that the universe is vibrational, everything vibrates constantly, nothing rests. And our human system, and when I'm not talking about human system, I'm talking about our physical body, our mental, emotional body, and obviously our energetic field as well. So that's why I call it a system, because if you just say body, people think I'm talking about the physical body. I'm talking about this entire system. And so that's also vibrational, obviously. And so bioresonance therapy is actually utilizing the science of frequencies and what we know about the frequencies and oscillations. And we work with those frequencies and optimize them so that the body can be in this sort of most optimal state for healing. And so essentially, when the frequencies are optimal, then we have health. So we need to have optimal frequencies, but also we need to have coherence within those fields. So I will explain as we go forward that our cells, our organs, they all basically vibrate. They have the range of frequencies at which they vibrate. And so if an organ, say the liver, has got a specific range of frequencies, if that is by whatever means disrupted, and there could be different reasons for that, then essentially what we're going to have down the road, we're going to end up with liver dysfunction, which obviously when we're talking about detoxification and obviously here to chemical toxicity, we're talking about that's obviously going to be a massive problem, right? But this is not obviously not just the liver. Every single cell, tissue, organ in the body operates on this specific range of frequencies. And so we need to be optimizing those frequencies, making sure that the field is coherent in order to have health. Because if that's not the case, then we're going to end up with a diseased system. And so essentially, we can think of this as the language of our bodies is frequencies, really. And it's much easier, and this is very interesting, and I do like to bring those numbers in for people, because it's very interesting that we know that it's much easier and faster to affect the body with frequency than it is with a chemical agent. And basically, the numbers are quite staggering because we know that the speed of electromagnetic signaling is 186,000 miles per second, whereas the speed of a diffusible chemical is 1 centimeter per second. Okay, so it's just mind-blowing when you look at it in that way. And so what essentially we're dealing with is, as we working with those changes in the field and we optimizing the frequencies, we're going to end up with positive changes in our biochemical function. And I just wanted to say, just in case people are not quite sure what we're talking about when we're talking about resonance, there are some, real life examples that we can refer to when we trying to explain this phenomenon of resonance. And so one of them would be when the person pushes a swing. And when you push the swing and it goes back and forth, you sort of, as the pusher of the swing, you need to match, you need to match the timing of the swing, right? And then as we kind of push it, the amplitude becomes greater, so that the swing goes higher. And then when it reaches this natural frequency, it only takes a light push for the swing to maintain its oscillation, we could say, right? Another one that people may be familiar with is when a singer breaks glass, right, by the power of their voice. So essentially what's happening here is that the singer's voice hits the resonant frequency of a glass, and then that glass, the energy transfer basically occurs. And so if the full transfer of energy is sort of a certain, again, magnitude, it can actually shatter the glass. And another one is the bridge, the soldiers on the bridge. So when the group of soldiers marches on the bridge, they will be told to break their stride, so not to be so in unison, because if they're completely united in the way they're marching, that the rhythmic marching can actually cause this extreme vibration and essentially disrupt the natural frequency of the bridge and therefore damage the bridge. So that's basically just just sort of for people to get their heads around this whole concept of resonance. But in relation to the body, we need to remember everything has a frequency. Our tissues, our organs, pathogens have frequencies, chemicals have frequencies, supplements, hormones, our thoughts, perceptions, beliefs, emotions, everything is frequency. So when we employ the science of it, and then of course we actually have technology that can support it, there are also different modalities that work along those lines, we can have a phenomenal impact on our health and healing. And I'm sure, because you're obviously familiar with this yourself, you can contribute something that, when we employ this, when working with people, our results will be far, far greater, go far beyond, and it will be far more reaching and faster than if we just focus on biochemistry, without any shadow of a doubt.